Nairobi is Kenya's seat of power, the country's capital city as well as its industrial city. These attributes have seen the capital bear the biggest brunt as the preferred place for settlement, with the pull factor being a better life and job opportunities. As Judith Akolo reports, Nairobi, that was known as the place of cool waters, has arguably become the place of running sludge decades into independence.
At independence in 1963, the population of Nairobi was 361,000 people only, with a population density of 493 people per square kilometer. Today, the population is estimated to be 5,325,160, with a population density of approximately 4,850 people per square kilometer. Nairobi then was 73 years old after becoming a settlement in 1890 at the arrival of Europeans. The Europeans, together with their Nubian soldiers, had first settled at Pangani, then Kileleshwa. The Nubians later moved to the expansive Kibra area, leaving the Europeans in the plush Kileleshwa.
Kileleshwa pia ni pori. Tena wakafieka hapa yote. Baada ya kufieka, wakaambiwa sasa tena kutoka huko ndio wakaja hapa Kibira. Kibira wakaja hapa kwa wakati 1900. Ndio walikuja hapa Kibira. Tena wakapata Kibira hapa ni pori tena kubwa sana.
Nairobi then grew into an administrative center and later as the capital city for Kenya. The colonial government then selected a site on the high ground north of Nairobi River and away from the railway station to be the administrative headquarters, which is the present-day State House area. The colonial government adopted the Hoyt sector model of urban planning that allowed for a central business district that was well connected by road and rail to residential areas.
The buses that we see when you go to Europe, the double-decker buses were here. The year we came here, the double-decker buses were here. And I remember we would run to go on the top one so that you would go on the upstairs rather than the lower one. And they were so well controlled in a manner that no bus would stop anywhere on the road unless it is on a bus stop.
It had an area for factories, which to date is known as industrial area. And next was the low-class residential areas of Muthurwa, where most of those that lived there worked for Kenya-Uganda Railways. There is Kaloleni Estate and Makongeni that housed both Post Office and Kenya Railways employees. Estates like Mbotela, Makadara were all low-class estates that provided homes for those working in the central business district as well as the factories and industries. The middle-class estates of Buruburu and later Umoja came up under a special arrangement that saw the Nairobi City Council begin to allow for private-public partnerships in the delivery of housing as the population in the city started growing.
We lost it when we decided that the council decided not to put more homes. They decided not to put more housing, and it was given to the public to buy land and, put their own estates. Their interest is just how much money can we make, how tall the buildings can be, so they get more money. I think we lost it there.
Model planned estate was Buruburu. Yeah, that was one of the best that was deemed to be a model planned estate in Nairobi. But you see what's happening? It also seemed to be also completely disappearing because of mushrooming of development.
Across the other side of the city were such estates as South C and South B, Nairobi West, where the Asian community lived, and next to it was Kibra, where the Nubian community lived in the reserve.
The irony is the Nubians themselves are not allowed to put up new structures. That was even there during the colonial days. You are not allowed to repair houses. You are only, because perhaps there was no intention per se to give Kibra, although it has the Kibra means forest, dense forest.
According to a study undertaken by the University of Nairobi lecturers Professor Samuel Owor and Dr. Teresia Mbatia, Nairobi, Kenya's capital city, has about 150 informal settlements where nearly 60% of the city's population live. An urban planner, Peter Orimba, argues that it is due to lack of a plan that the city finds itself in this state.
It is very difficult sometimes to make provision for some of these services that planning ought to provide for, like the infrastructural services, the community facilities, the amenities. It becomes so difficult because people first get to that place. Then now as well, when you struggle, you really want to bring these things probably even to the planning standard, what will be desired as planning standard. It's just become a big problem.
He says, while 10 years after independence in 1974, the government came up with a master plan for development of Nairobi, it expired 30 years later in 2004, and with the absence of a master plan, development continued without a plan.
We've also had challenges with our institutions. They do not have the capacity, the financial capacity, even the knowledge, so that they are just able to implement or to enforce some of these plans.
This means that any development after that has lacked a plan. Hence, the houses that today, while most people feel safe behind the walls, they constitute one big slum with both horizontal and vertical shacks.
So we have two types of slums, vertical and horizontal. Yeah, but probably sometimes the people in the vertical ones feel much better. But that is it. That's the truth of the matter.
It will take a revolution to take Nairobi back to what the original settlers had planned for it. Judith Akolo, KBC, Channel 1.